Gemini. This is your weekly oracle and tarot card reading from Born Without Boundaries. The tarot card spread is the extended, so that link is below. Please join me. Below in the description box. This is for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, or wherever Gemini energy influences your natal chart or your life. So you could be dealing with a Gemini. This is definitely this period that we're going through, all of us, no matter what zodiac sign. It's a very transitional period. There's a lot of moving around, either physically or just emotionally. There's changes that we're going through. Things that we're, and I would say in your case, allowing ourselves to finally realize, because it's like we've had the information, but we haven't wanted to process it. And it's just a period right now of being ready to process it. And of course, we've all, especially here in the United States, have gone through such shocks to our system with quarantine and our world literally changing, and how we communicate and how we can have fun with each other and how we can interact with each other changing so drastically. But also, all the riots and all the protesting. So there's just been this extreme movement toward, even though we're separate, we're more concerned about how other people are treated. It's really interesting, but it is very much air sign energy, because it's very Aquarian energy. All of this started to happen when, for a brief period, Saturn had gone into Aquarius in retrograde, but it will be in Aquarius full time starting in December of this year, which will be much more homey to you, much more comprehensive energy in terms of how fate and karma are created, the necessary distance and objectivity that strong air energy will give you, especially now with the North Node in Gemini too, which can be hypercritical. It's like North Node hypercritical, not you, but other people of you, because North Node, wherever the North Node is, people tend to be particularly afraid of all those characteristics. They tend to be particularly challenging for everybody, but that is what the point of the North Node is, to challenge people and make them better. So there is this sense of really being in the situation that for most people may seem really challenging. I think for you it will seem natural to be fascinated by something but not emotionally attached to it. So you're intellectually attached to it, you're certainly interested in it, but not necessarily emotionally attached to it. And that is something that a lot of people cannot comprehend about air signs, and what frustrates them so much, and where they sometimes feel betrayed. It's not necessarily betrayal, considering intellectual interest and fascination matters so much to you, and I think it's even more imperative on some levels than emotions, because it's not only a place where you feel comfortable, but it's a place where where you can expand and grow. It doesn't, there is no end to it, and you feel, like I said, you feel comfortable there, but there is this sense of becoming aware. Let me go back to my original statement during this channeled message. There is this sense right now of something that you are just you are just allowing yourself to become aware of. And I think being particularly precious, or making your circumstance right now particularly precious, in order to not rock the boat and to sort of allow people, because I don't want to, I'm just going to say it. Allow people to make judgments on you based on the best of you, instead of the worst, or at least perceived worst of you. So being very, very aware of other people's perception of you is very, very particular and important to where you are in your life right now. And in a lot of ways, using that as a means to draw out different aspects of them. What I would say is, in a lot of ways, you're testing somebody. You're testing people, or you know for a fact that you're in a circumstance or situation where you are being tested, where you are being almost, I mean tested. I don't want to say set up, though in some extreme cases that could be the case, but I don't feel that way as much as I feel that somebody is definitely trying to get information from you or find things wrong with you. They are definitely trying to, or you feel that they are very much trying to find something wrong with you or figure something out about you that is based on things that you don't want to share or you do want to keep secret. And there may be things going on that are not on the up and up, which we will talk about throughout the reading, especially if there are things that they hurt you. So it's almost like just because you hide something doesn't mean it's gone. And that is, as I said in the very beginning of this message, that is the big theme for you right now, is just because you hide something doesn't mean it's gone. And just because you deny something doesn't mean it's not impacting you. So this could be a person that you're dealing with, or a group that you're dealing with, or you yourself, basically trying very hard to be or influence the perception of others on you. And in doing so, being the best of yourself, but also getting a little bit irritated or maybe even bitter about this necessity to impress right now. But you know that you're under the spotlight. You know that you're being scrutinized. You know that you're being almost interrogated in some situations, or you feel that you are. And you know, your drive to prove somebody wrong about everything that you are is in a way driving you to not be everything that you are. You know, we just had a huge discussion last week, and I do hope that you watched last week's reading about being in a position where you can accept both your dark twin and your light twin, and being around people who can accept both. And now sort of in some ways reverting back to, I'm going to show them just the best of myself and really fuck them up in the process, because there is a pissed offness about this sense that people have a right to look into you, or people have a right to analyze you or make decisions about you. And I think this is more about fucking with them than it is about hiding who you are. But simultaneously, you are hiding that other aspect of yourself. And living sincerely is something that you do all the time for the purpose of never having to suffocate yourself or stuff yourself back into any closets, or pieces of yourself back into any closets, or deny any part of you. And that's what I feel so, I think, horrible about right now, is that you shouldn't have to do that. And I don't want this little, it's almost like in some ways you are behaving in a way that could lead you back to a pattern of bad behavior that will end up hurting you, even if you think you are in control of it right now. And that's what I'm here to help you completely and totally avoid. Yeah. Because this right here, it's all about being healthy, and that's the danger here. There really is danger here, a sense of thinking that you're in control when you're about to lose control. And this is either something that you're struggling with yourself, because I don't know who you're up against. You could be up against the court system. You could be up against jail time. Like, big things like that will make you think of things like this as, well, I have to deprioritize it. Because right now there is shit that I have to deal with. And ultimately that trumps whatever progress I'd made in the other direction. And I have to say, no, it doesn't. Because the progress in the other direction of being a whole self is imperative to a lovely life that you will love to live. And I know we could talk more about this pressure point, this person, this necessity that's pushing you, making you feel pushed into a corner again. And it is almost like that dark twin coming out, because it's the pretender. It's the one who will fuck with you. It's the one who will try to manipulate a situation and convince you that you have this all covered, when in reality, you're losing yourself. You're losing your whole self, or the perspective of your whole self. Because it's not about being a goody-goody. It's just not, and it's not about being a perfect person. And it is the darker side of yourself that will tell you that. So it is not necessarily, like I said, fucking with others is leading you to fuck with yourself. And that's where we got to watch out. There is somebody who is extremely foxy. So this is Sagittarius energy. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a Sagittarius, but it could very well be a Sagittarius. But Gemini, this is the energy of a person who is intentionally manipulative and deceptive, and who is trying to mislead, right? And because it's a fox, they're very clever at doing it, and they're very attractive, and they could be, they could be behaving in a way that is very much convincing and appealing and too attractive to resist. But this is definitely a sense of at least sensing that there is a deceptive energy around you right now. This is double Sagittarius energy, surrender now. There's a sense of flying right into this deceptive energy, almost like this black hole of energy, because this is chaos. This is falling into chaos. That's what these two cards together are, because it's heading right in, this is like my moth to a flame card. It's like you almost can't help flying directly into chaos. And almost like being suctioned and vacuumed into it. I don't know if you were aware of it. I think your eyes are on the prize. I think your eyes are on exposing somebody else. I think your eyes are on winning the battle, because that's a more comfortable place for you. But this is going on underneath the surface, and it might undermine your efforts externally. I don't know if you're dealing with a Sagittarius. Think on your feet and surrender now. But you're not able to think on your feet. It's coming out in reverse. So there's less of a sense of, it's like you're not as tricky as you think you are. And I'm not trying to insult you either. It's just, you're not as tricky as you think you are, and you're not thinking as quickly as you think you are, and you're headed right into the flame. It's almost like warning, you're being sucked in. They're using you against you and letting you think that you're out ahead, and when you're really just like being led right into their trap. And this is that scorpionic energy. Now, if you're dealing with a Scorpio, it's like they're sucking you in, but there is a sense of, even if you're not dealing with Scorpio, there's a sense of turn those headlights on. Get investigative. There's some sort of investigation going on into the private parts. That's the Scorpionic energy is. There's some sort of investigation going on into parts of your life that you did not invite other people into. And there's a sense of getting the eyes on the things, or trying to figure out a way to manipulate you into revealing things about you that you are not ready to reveal. Okay, there's a sense of let it shine here, which is the other side of this, which is a sense of let the truth shine, let the truth come out, or at least acknowledge it and see it. Like, see it. Be willing to accept this reality that this is happening. Or you could be doing it to somebody else, like wanting to really super expose some realities about somebody, super expose their manipulativeness. This could be something that you are 100% working on intentionally. And if that is the case, you are doing a good job. Like, you are revealing it all. But there is also that opposite side of things where the way that you are revealing everything and the way that you are behaving is also revealing aspects of you, which could be cast and around, flipped around and turned around to make you look bad. It's like, well, how did they run the investigation? What did they do to get the information? Do you see how manipulative they can be? It's like using your strategies against you or as a means to flip around who you are. This is the energy that you're dealing with. Very, very tricky. Let spirit be your guide. So this is seeing, foresight, aerial vision, as well as a warning that is coming through to you. Be careful, watch out, because there's a larger game at play. And if you're looking just right in front of you, and that's why Sagittarius energy is here on the table, because Sagittarius energy doesn't really look right in front of them. It looks at the whole picture. It looks at everything around. It looks at the big philosophy, right? Whereas you and Gemini energy look very much one step in front of the other, one person in front of the other. So as much as you could be thinking, yeah, I'm knocking all those dominoes down one by one, I'm winning, where those dominoes are leading is right off a cliff. And somebody knows that, and they know how you're going to behave. So it's like they're using your own behavior against you. And that's what I really want you to be aware of. Shocking and stunning, and maybe something that you never expected to be happening, but true. There is long-term goals here, and maybe in the lightest sense of this reading, because it's getting really heavy, but in the lightest sense of this reading, it could just be, if you're starting a new love affair, feeling that you're getting sucked in, and not because you hate the person, but because you are intrigued by the person, but not really wanting to get as sucked in and get as deep as you wanted, maybe it's moving too fast for you, is what I'm saying. So there is a sense of, and this has been for everybody, pace is everything right now. For some reason, process and pace is imperative right now, and the process is actually processing you, and the pace is getting out of hand. And I think, and I say this to you because I think the pace is that thing you'll be able to feel intuitively the most. And you'll be able to recognize, oh, this is making me uncomfortable because this pace is going too quickly. And I don't love it right now. How do I rein this in? There are small details. This is Virgo energy. The devil is in the details for you right now. The devil is in those little bits. It's like somebody is throwing you in little piece at a time. They're feeding you crumbs. They're leading you in. They're guiding you in. Or little bits, building. It's almost like, the significant other who, like, oh, I left my jacket at your house. Can you hold on to it for me? Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, come back and get it whenever you want. And then the next time they sleep over, they've also left a toothbrush. And they haven't picked up their jacket. They just left it there. And the next time they come over, they, have left a whole makeup kit. Or the next time they've gone over, they've almost implied that, oh, this would be a great place to live. Like, what if we lived together? But they're doing it little bits at a time, to the point where everything is building inside your walls. You don't necessarily see it right now. These are the mice that are building, but it's like the details are everything right now. Know your worth, your sense of self, your sense of who you are. And this is what I channeled from the beginning, is this energy of love who you are. This is a skunk who loves flowers. It's not trying to not be a skunk, right? It's trying to be itself. So even if it doesn't fit there, if it wants to be there, it's going to be there. And but it's not going to stop being a skunk. Its stink is still there if it needs it, and it still loves flowers because it loves them. So entirely accepting oneself and loving who you are and not being ashamed of any aspect of yourself is going to be the trick that tricks them. Transformation is beautiful. And maybe you're working on something and you're the one taking the small steps to loving yourself more and transforming your life. Hold on. Through this acceptance, this personal acceptance of yourself, if you're going through rehabilitation of some sort, any sort, it could be even physical rehabilitation, or any kind of medical procedure to improve your health, to help yourself out, there is a sense of you are in this process and you don't want to talk about it much. You don't want everybody to know. You don't want it to be public knowledge. Why? Because the remaining anonymous, let's put that, I can't think of the word right now, is most important to you. So there is a sense of either intentionally telling people what they want to hear to throw them off the course, or you're dealing with somebody who is intentionally trying to tell you what you want to hear to throw you off the course of what they're trying to slip in underneath. Or it's you yourself doing a lot of soul searching and working very hard on creating a new life, but not wanting to talk about it and not wanting everybody else to know about it. And so you are intentionally distracting them or trying to put their attention in a different way, in a different location, so that you can go about doing you. The whole process, however, is a sense of, at some point, don't worry about them seeing, because this is work, especially if it's good for you, that you should be able to do out loud and still be able to do with fervor. I know you want to keep it private. I know you do. But there is this sense, Gemini, that keeping it private could actually backfire on you. Yeah. Let's get into your spirit and angel messages, because I think it's really important for this reading. For Gemini angels. Gemini. Okay. So the two that came out first, and I thought was really interesting, is think global. You are being encouraged to spread your wings. Think outside the square. You are a citizen of the world. Expand your vision. Imagine the world within your heart. Embrace it. Surround it with love. Let it be, and so it will be. Maybe you want to travel. This is a sense of really wanting to go the distance. There's a lot of flying here. So there is a sense of really taking the chance and going to that place that is right for your heart. And imagine the world within your heart. Let it be, and so it will be. So daring to trust that you could be happy. Daring to trust that you could handle things in a different way and still be okay. Let me see what the other one is. Mindfulness. Be mindful of another's feelings and needs. Someone needs your love right now. A loving thought is all it takes. So this is once again trusting somebody else's feelings, trusting somebody else's feelings for you, and not feeling backed into a corner because of it. Turning on the empathy, as much empathy as you can, to understand that somebody is not trying to necessarily manipulate you, or they are trying to manipulate you, but they're doing it because they love you. And and I know you're like, and I hear it. You don't manipulate somebody because you love them. I know. But here is the turning point where normally you could turn on your malice and you could turn on your defensiveness, and there's no reason to do it. There's no reason to do it. Especially if you're dealing with a person, I think that they would actually learn a lot more by you showing them what it is that makes you really happy instead of what it is that pisses you off, type of thing. Be mindful of another's feelings and needs. Someone needs your love right now. A loving thought is all it takes. You are being encouraged to spread your wings. This could be something. I got this energy of travel. I got this energy of going somewhere, and I don't know why. Wisdom. Everything has a place and purpose. To be wise is to have great love, tolerance, and compassion for things. You are really being led in a different direction, aren't you? Destiny. I'm sorry, I'll show you wisdom. Sometimes people like to get screenshots of these. Destiny. Your destiny is to blossom, to shine, to transform to an ever greater light. And then last but not least is healing. I, the angel of healing, am with you right now. Feel my presence and my unwavering love for you. I have loved you before the dawn of time, and I will love you for all eternity. Oh God, there is a beautiful sense of healing going on in you right now. Transformative process of staying whole, even if you're tempted to split in two again. And there's a good reason for it. It's almost like you do have people who really care about you in your life. And in some ways, it's about allowing this caring to inspire you. For some reason, the angels are like screaming out, stay your hand, don't unleash your chaos. It's so imperative right now for your health and your healing to stay really focused and really whole. This is a great time to go into tarot because it will give us such crisp details. So let's head over into the extended. I can't wait for you to join me over there. The link is below.